Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree if you are new here, and welcome to my 2023 favorites. Happy New Year. I know I'm a couple videos into the new year, but this was originally supposed to be at the end of the year, and then it was originally supposed to be the very first video of the year, but things happen. Here we are. It's my 2023 favorites. I got them up kind of early in January. That's all that matters. So I have a pile of makeup next to me that have been my absolute favorite products to use in 2023. Super excited to tell you about them. Honestly, most of them will probably not be a surprise to you if you've watched my channel throughout the year. Why not put them all together in one place? I will say that I was on a no-buy for all of 2023. I did 2 separate hauls, one halfway through the year and one at the end of the year. Nothing that I purchased at the end of the year is in this video because obviously I just got it, you know. One thing from my haul in the middle of the year that I am excited to talk about. So a lot of these products that I'm going to be talking about are not new by any stretch of the imagination, but they have been staples for me throughout my no-buy and throughout 2023. So if you guys want to hear about my 2023 makeup favorites, then just keep on watching. So I didn't include like essentials like eyeliners, eyebrow stuff, things like that, because I use them constantly. I talk about them constantly. I also guarantee I have more than likely talked about those types of products in previous year-end favorites. So throughout this video, I will have those years listed up in the eye, linked up in the eye, and then also listed down below for you guys as well. Everything that I've talked about in those videos, I'm sure still stands, whether if I still have the product, obviously. I didn't go back and like verify that information, but I talked about good products in those videos. So if you're curious about other things that I was in love with for an entire year at least, check out those videos as well. But let's just dive into it. This is so not a surprise to anybody at all, but my absolute favorite palette of 2023 had to be the ColourPop Gone Matte palette. Honestly, this may have been my 2022 favorite as well, but like, oh my god, it's such a good palette. It's not exciting at all. Like, it's not exciting at all. It is a fully matte neutral palette, but it's just so good. You got your warm tones, your cool tones, your neutrals, your lights, your darks. You have everything in this palette when it comes to matte neutrals. I don't need any other matte neutrals. I still have some, but like I never reach for them over this, to be honest with you. It's just the formula, so good. They're so pigmented, but they're so easy to blend. It's just an all-around absolute perfect palette. I definitely, like, throughout my no-buy tended to lean more towards neutrals. I don't know what it was about it. I was in a neutral mode in 2023, and this palette, like, I probably used it 3 to 4 times a week. Like, I used it a ton this year, so I had to mention it in this video. For primers, ironically, I actually finished this like 2 days ago, but I left it out of my empties drawer specifically because I knew I was going to be talking about it in today's video. But it is the NYX Plump Right Back Primer. So this is, how do I explain it? It is a gripping primer for sure. Like, it is 100% a gripping primer. But in the way where e.l.f. Hydro Grip is like super grippy, this one is just like a little bit more hydrating, a little less grippy, so it's a little bit easier to work with. I actually prefer that. I do have to get through my e.l.f. gripping primers now before I can repurchase this one, but when it comes down to between the two, I actually absolutely prefer this one. In October, I went to a concert and I had like errands to run. I filmed a video the morning of the concert and I had like errands to run that day, and then was going to the concert at night, obviously. And the concert was about probably 30 minutes away from us. So I knew when I was filming that video that morning that I needed to use like long-lasting products and stuff like that. And I'm even like the foundation and stuff. Let's just pull out the foundation now. I used the and this is also a 2023 absolute favorite. This has been a favorite for years and years and years. The Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Foundation. Stunning. Like, they have over 100 shades. I love that it's got the pump, but it also has a doe foot inside of it. 10 out of 10. Perfect coverage, perfect shade match, perfect finish, perfect. This is, the way I always describe this foundation is like it's so easy to manipulate. If you put on a really glowy primer underneath it, it'll have a little bit of a glow. If you put on a matte primer underneath it, it'll be really matte. It's very like middle of the road in the finish, so that whatever you want to do with it, you can. If you put on just a little bit of it, it'll have a lighter coverage, but you can get this to like a really nice, very comfortable full coverage that doesn't look heavy or cakey, wears amazingly throughout the day. Anyways, this combo right here, I put this combo on at probably like 10 in the morning, the day of the concert that we went to. Sprayed on my setting sprays, you know, I did my full routine, sprayed on my setting sprays, went and ran my errands. I came back, I took a fucking nap. And I knew as I was like about to take a nap, I was like, I may have to like touch up a little bit of my makeup before we go, but it is what it is. A bitch is tired, right? And I got up and I looked at my makeup and I was like, okay, like my blush and my bronzer is still there. My eyeliner looks fine. Like nothing's smudged. I'm good. Like I don't really need to touch anything up. I just took my setting spray and I sprayed down my face again and then went on with my day, right? We went down to the concert. You know how concerts are. It was an indoor concert too. Like there was some humidity in the air. It was toasty in there. You know how it is. And we get home at probably like, I want to say about 12:30 in the morning. So my makeup had been on for at least 10 hours and through a nap and through a concert. And I went to go get ready to take a shower and I looked at my face up close in the mirror because I was just curious, right? And I walked back out to my husband and I was just like, if I didn't love like trying new makeup all the time and like playing around with makeup, this is all that I would ever wear. My makeup looked perfect at the end of the day. It had a little bit of oil break through and I had a little bit of a glow to my skin that wasn't there earlier in the day, but it looked healthy. My skin looked healthy. I didn't look like I was wearing a ton of foundation. I didn't look like I was, looked super makeup-y. My skin just looked really, really good. So like staple combo. Super sad I finished this, but I mean, it's the name of the game with a no buy. And just, having makeup is you're going to end up finishing up your favorite products, of course, and I will inevitably end up repurchasing that at some point. All right, this next product became, it was already a staple, like, in my routine during 2022, but I learned so many fun ways to use this product in the past year. It is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. So, on a regular basis, I will always put a little bit of this underneath my eyes before I put on any sort of under eye corrector. It just kind of brightens the space, it hydrates, it just does good things for my under eyes. I don't know how to explain it, I just like the way that I just like what it does. I always knew that this could also double as a primer, and so I had one of these because I have two shades because I didn't know what shade I was and as you can tell, this is not my shade. When I first bought it, I bought two shades and then I was like, well, I love it so much I'm not returning the one that's like a little bit too deep for me because I'm still going to put stuff on top of it, So I had one of these in my project pan, and when I was doing like project pan makeup, a lot of the times it was get ready quickly. It wasn't sit down and do a full face. It was get ready a little bit faster, make myself look good, but not like too much, and I ended up, so I wouldn't wear a primer is basically where I'm going with that, because it was a lot of skip steps to make the process go a little bit quicker, and then I started using this as a primer, and I would whole face. This has a little bit of a coverage to it as well, so it just kind of started to even out my skin tone before I put anything else on top of it. And what I would do is I would cover my face in that, and then I would underpaint. So I would put on a shitload of bronzer, unblended, put on, you know, a decent, honestly, I would use a concealer. I wouldn't even use a foundation. I would use a concealer, you know, and kind of set that as my foundation, blend the two together, put on a little bit more concealer underneath my eyes, set down my face, and I was good to go. And my face always looked so good. And I think this was a big part of it, because I've tried to do that same technique without having this underneath it, and it never had the same vibe. It just never looked as good as when I would wear this underneath it. So this is ride or die, absolute favorite. For concealer, this has been a favorite of mine for years and years and years. And by favorite, I mean like it was just always in my collection and I always enjoyed using it, but I don't think that I really recognized how much I loved it until I was in the middle of a no-buy and I finished up the concealer and I didn't have a backup of it. And I was like, once I finished it and I didn't have it, I missed it so much. Like I absolutely missed it. So I will admit this technically was a purchase during my holiday haul, but I've used this concealer for years. But the L'Oreal Full Wear Concealer, very full coverage concealer right off the bat. It is a little bit more of a matte concealer. I don't use a ton of this. I literally one dot underneath each eye and I'm good to go. But it is such a flawless, flawless, flawless finish. It doesn't crease underneath my eyes. It doesn't get cakey. It just looks so good. And again, it was one of those things that you don't know how much you love it till you don't have it kind of thing. Like I missed it so much that I swear to God, I almost broke my no-buy to go buy a tube of it. I didn't, but I almost did. My favorite cream bronzer of 2023 has to be the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer. I use the shade Light. By the way, I'm actually rather proud of how much of this I have used, but it is a stunning cream bronzer. I will say, if you are lighter in complexion than I am, this isn't gonna work for you. It is borderline too deep for me. And I think the biggest reason for that is because it is very, very, very pigmented. But I love the fact that it's super pigmented because you don't have to use a ton. Like that is very little that I just applied. My favorite way to apply it is with a velour puff. I'll dip it in there, kind of pat it on my skin. It just kind of blows it out without like caking it on. But I love the fact that it is just really neutral. It's not super warm tone. It's not super cool tone. It's very easy to blend. It's super creamy. So it does like a little bit goes a very long way, especially with how pigmented it is and how creamy it is. But it's just so nice. And it smells really good. It still smells good all these years later. I think I've had it for maybe a year and a half. All right. This one is absolutely not going to be a surprise if you've watched my videos throughout 2023. My absolute favorite cream blush. My absolute favorite cream blush has to be the LYS Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush, specifically in the shade Kindness, though I will admit I picked up a couple more shades during my holiday haul, and there is not a bad shade that I have gotten. Like, I love them all. Very pigmented, but very creamy, super easy to blend, just all around gorgeous finish. Just the perfect amount of pigment that it doesn't it's not overwhelming. It just sets down nicely on the skin. It doesn't get like bunchy or weird. It doesn't pick up the product underneath it. It doesn't play weird with the products that I put on top of it. It's literally the perfect cream blush formula. Speaking of setting down that blush and putting products on top of it, my favorite powder blush has to be the LA Girl Just Blushing Blush, specifically in the shade Just Natural, though again, I did pick up another shade during my holiday haul. Love it as well. This formula is just divine, honestly. It is a little, almost a little, I'm putting it on top of the other one just so you can kind of see how they play well together. That kind of didn't work out how I wanted it to, so we're gonna ignore that I just did that. It is almost a little bit blurring. It's just such a soft, fine powder. Very sheer in the sense that like it doesn't pack a massive punch. It doesn't pack a massive punch. But that's what I want, because I'm setting down a cream blush with a powder blush, so I don't want something that's like so insanely overwhelmingly pigmented. It's so soft, it's so easy to apply. It basically damn near blends itself out. And again, it has just like the slightest bit of a blurring quality to it. So wherever I put it just looks so smooth and airbrushed and now take all of those fun adjectives that I just said and apply it to my favorite powder bronzer, which is the Juvia's Place Bronzed Duo. I have the shade Light. You can tell which one I favor. I do use this one like during the summer to kind of like enhance my bronze, but it is just a little bit too warm for like everyday all over the face use. This bronzer is just, it's light enough that it's not overwhelming when I'm putting it on top of a cream bronzer. I did just rub that over the Makeup Revolution one. It's again got a little bit of like a blurring quality. It's very soft, very thin powder. It's not gonna like build up and look really heavy and cakey. There's definitely some bronzers out there that like the powder is thick and even applying it on the face looks thick. And this is definitely not one of them. It effortlessly sets the cream bronzer without being like just too much. It's actually the bronzer that I am wearing on my forehead today. I'm going in the order of application on my face here because that was the easiest way for me to make sure I didn't forget something. My absolute favorite under eye setting powder. I do use powder foundations all over my face, but there are some powder foundations that look really good on the rest of my face but not underneath my eyes. And there are some powder foundations that look really good underneath my eyes but not that good on the rest of my face. It is what it is. My favorite under eye powder foundation has to be the Essence 16 Hour Cover and Last. It is actually the powder foundation that I used to set underneath my eyes today. It is, again, just like, it's thin, so it doesn't like get super cakey or bunchy. It blurs, it sets, it's just nice. I mean, it's a powder foundation, so I don't really have too much to say about it, but like it sets down my concealer really well. It sets down everything that I put underneath my eyes really well without like creasing. It doesn't break down throughout the day. It doesn't like darken my under eyes. It doesn't make them look crepey. It just looks good. And then my favorite powder foundation for the rest of my face this year has to be the Maybelline Superstay Hybrid Powder Foundation. I'm still like working to find my absolute favorite like perfect shade. I think it's this one, which unfortunately for me, I'm almost positive was supposed to be on the sticker that's like right here. So I have no way of knowing what fucking shade this is, which is tragic really, because I know when I bought this, I bought multiple trying to figure it out. So that's gonna be fun for me. You can barely see it. It's a powder foundation. I don't even know why I swatched it, to be honest with you. It just looks so good. It's so blurring and smoothing, which is the same thing, without being like cakey or heavy. It just sets down my face and it lasts all day without altering anything. Like it just mattifies, sets it down, blurs it out. It doesn't change the color. It's perfect. It's so smooth. It's so just like, it just looks so good. It looks so good. Again, hybrid is the key word here because they do have the regular Maybelline Superstay Powder Foundation and it is not nearly as good as that one. You want the hybrid one. I finally get to talk about the one product that I got during my mid-year no-buy haul. Was literally like the saving grace for how much I did not like doing that haul, how much I regretted doing that haul. This was the saving grace, and it is the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush. Listen, they launched this like a month into my no-buy. I almost broke the no-buy for it. I genuinely almost broke my no-buy for this because I knew it was gonna be so good. but I didn't break it. I didn't break the no buy. I was like, I gotta hold out to the middle of the year and I'll pick it up then. This is the shade Shimmering Rose, which is actually a shade that I bought during my holiday haul. I also have Pretty Peach, which is the one that I bought in the middle of the year. Both are phenomenal shades. Listen, that looks so light, right? But that's what I want out of a blush topper. Once again, I'm gonna put this over everything else just so you can kind of see how they all play together. I just like adding a little bit of a glow. It just, the colors play together depending on which one I'm using. I just add a little bit of a glow, just a little bit of something. It just, again, it's a very thin, very soft formula, very soft powder that doesn't like accentuate texture or make my skin look weird. It's so good. It's so good. I have to fight buying like all of the shades. Speaking of glowy powders that don't accentuate texture, my favorite highlight is the Revlon Skin Lights highlight. This is the shade Daybreak Glimmer, which everyone said is a dupe for the ABH Amrezy highlight, which apparently is now a dupe for their new ABH highlight. I have this one, so I don't need another one, but it is the perfect like champagne-y gold that I could see working for so many skin tones, because it's got like almost a translucent base to it. It's just glow. It's just a nice warm glow. But again, it doesn't accentuate texture. It doesn't like look weird. It doesn't create that like harsh line that you would get from some highlights. It's just so soft and just so easy to apply, and it just looks so good. I'm running out of like descriptive words, so it's a good thing I only have 2 products left, but I'm running out of descriptive words that don't all just mean the same thing. My favorite lashes. I am wearing a pair today, but I have a box over here that's brand new, are the AOA Studios from Shop Miss A 3D Faux Mink lashes. Right, these are the style Sarah, which I do love. I currently have on the style Anastasia. First of all, these are $1.55. So what I usually do is I will go on Shop Miss A every, like once every 6 months or so, and I'll buy like 20 to 30 pairs of lashes, because shipping does take a little while, but they're so cheap that I can buy a ton of them and just hold on to them and use them. So one pair of lashes, I only ever have out one pair of lashes at a time. Like, these are going to go right back in my backup drawer. One pair of lashes will probably last me about a week, depending on how gentle I am with them. Sometimes I break them too soon. I also have times where I'll have them last me longer than that. They have a shit ton of styles, like a ton of different styles. If you like big lashes, if you like little lashes, if you like wispy, if you like, cat eye style lashes. They have so many different styles to choose from. They're so fucking affordable, but they're just like, they're so light, and like, granted I wear lashes all the time, so my eyes are very used to having them on, but like, I don't feel these on my eyes at all. They are just like, the way that they are held in here is so perfect. Like, this little curve is so perfect. It just makes them fit my eyes perfectly. I just trim them down as needed and just apply them. But seriously, like, these lashes are just as good as any lash that you could buy at Sephora, Ulta, Target, Walmart, anywhere. Kiss, Ardell, House of Lashes, Velour Lash, any of them. These lashes are just as good for an absolute fraction of the price for something that you wear like 5 to 10 times and then throw away. Why spend all of the money when you could just save a ton of money and just get them from Shop Miss A? Last but not least, these were launched at the very beginning of 2023, and they were an absolute staple in my collection. I had one shade it's still in my collection, like a more deeper warm brown, because I just wanted something different. And then I was like, fuck, I need this in like just a nude. So I have here in front of me the nude, but this is the NYX Smooth Whip Matte Lip Cream. I have the shade Pancake Stacks. First of all, they smell divine. Let me smell. They smell so fucking good. This is like NYX's updated version of the smooth matte lip, or the soft matte lip creams. These are more pigmented, easier to apply. They're less streaky. Like, I always had a streaky issue with the soft mattes. These ones are far less streaky. They last for fucking ever. They don't get like super like, I mean, they're a matte fucking liquid lipstick, so they're gonna be a little bit liney on the lips if you have lip lines, but they're still rather smooth and kind of a little bit blurring looking. They feel a lot more pillowy. I think it's the whipped texture. It feels a lot more pillowy than, say, like a traditional liquid matte lipstick. This was another thing, like, I wore this when we went to the concert and it looked so good. Super easy to reapply to. It's not the kind of matte liquid lipstick that you have to like wipe it all off and put it back on and stuff like that. Like, it's just so fucking good and so comfy, and just doesn't like dry out your lips or make your lips look gross. It doesn't do that whole like butthole lip thing that used to happen like back in the day with like the matte liquid lipsticks. We've progressed in our formulas since then, thank fucking God. That is going to wrap up my 2023 makeup favorites. Like I said, none of these are new. I mean, 2 of the products were launched in 2023. Everything else is old. I was on a no-buy, so that's to be expected. I will say that there was definitely a couple things that I purchased in my holiday haul that I can already tell are going to be like strong contenders for 2024 favorites. Like, there's just some things that I bought that I'm like, these are really, really, really good products. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to have them in my collection. But yeah, this was the collection. These were the products that got me through my no-buy and still like made me excited to want to do makeup every single day, despite like, you know, missing out on new launches and not buying new stuff. Like, these were the products that made me just like really excited to continue doing makeup every single day. So I appreciate them for that. And yeah, comment down below and let me know what one of your 2023 favorite makeup products was. I would love to hear all about it. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome, awesome day, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!